Here we are again for another awful pile of trash video.
That is one big pile of shit.
That any motivated school kid could outdo in every way. But here I am anyway, whether you like it or not.
Welcome to hell.
To talk about some dumb stuff YouTube has decided to do.
God damn you, god damn.
And naturally, complain about it for a good 30 minutes or so. Today, we are talking about this poor excuse of a video and the assertions made therein. I mean, that's rich coming from me, but I'm still not wrong. The short story is that I hate it, and it sucks. Its existence is really oppressing me. I will also be regaling you with some stupid attempts at jokes that will make exactly 0 people laugh.
No, you won't laugh because it's not funny.
And will ultimately make me look stupid, I have no doubt. This guy, anonymous good-looking guy, has been hired, at a relatively cheap price no doubt, to fill us in on what the evil lizards in charge of YouTube have decided on the fate of our beloved dislike counter. And everything he says sucks. I hate it.
Don't be so harsh.
In fact, I'm going to be pouty and miserable for the rest of the day just because of this. And I'm also going to be mean to a store clerk because of this. It's YouTube's fault, not mine. And that's what I'm going to tell the store clerk too.
I'm but a poor victim in these harsh times when examples are made of the unfortunate.
But, so let's get started then, I guess. I suppose, if we have to, even though no one is making me do this. I guess we will.
Yeah, I guess so.
This is not the first time YouTube has decided to target the dislike button. They thought they were going to remove the dislike button a while ago.
Remove the dislike button. They said they're going to do it a little while ago, I think.
Until they got a good spanking from the public and changed their mind. But they've decided to take another crack at it. But this time it's a little different. Instead of deleting the dislike button entirely, YouTube recently decided to hide the dislike counter for videos, because they already hid the comment dislike counter a while ago. To deliver the news, they've graced us with the aforementioned video, and the video poses a few arguments for why this isn't a big deal and why we shouldn't worry about it. Naturally, the arguments they've used are bullshit, and I'm sure they used the exact same arguments, if they used any, when they got rid of the comment dislike counter I don't know how long ago. Their arguments are as follows, so far as I can tell. Other sites don't have a dislike counter.
And other platforms don't even have a dislike button.
They say that the analytics say that it doesn't matter if the counter is there or not.
In other words, it didn't really matter if a video had a lot of dislikes or not, they still watched.
They're claiming that bad actors are turning the dislike counter into
turning it into something like a game with a visible scoreboard.
After removing the counter, they saw a reduction in participation with the dislike button, obviously.
Duh.
And finally, you're going to get used to it pretty quick anyway, so.
Honestly, I think you're going to get used to it pretty quickly. And
these are the arguments that I've been able to decipher from the hideous demon words spoken from the mouth of the horribly real-looking simulacrum that is anonymous good-looking guy. See my Patreon to support me as I do the Lord's work, decoding the evil that spews forth from the gelatinous hell pit that is YouTube headquarters. One of the first points I want to cover in today's video is that nothing that we have talked about so far today, or nothing that comes after this point in the video, surprises me at all. Like even one bit.
That is obvious.
Or any of the other decisions they've made over the past decade or so surprises me at all. And it doesn't surprise pretty much anyone else on the internet either.
Duh.
Not one goddamn bit. If it does surprise you, then you are significantly more naive than you probably should be for such a harsh, cruel world.
Don't be so harsh.
But I applaud your parents' ability to maintain your innocence. It's actually quite impressive. But ironically enough, I was naive enough to think that there was even the slightest possibility in reversing these ridiculous decisions that YouTube has made.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
So I'm right there with you, naive person. More on that in a minute. But, there really should not be any surprises about any of this, because these decisions are the result of the system we live in. A system that drives everyone everywhere to make a profit at all costs. And corporations, including YouTube, are no different. Profit before all else. It's not a bug, it's a feature. That's how it's supposed to work. So it should not be a surprise when companies make anti-public decisions and fuck over their customer base for profit, and always prioritizing the needs and wants of the already rich and powerful, the advertisers, and the corporations, who are all getting beat up by the dislike button for all kinds of different shit.
Good!
The rich and powerful, the corporations, and the advertisers
Fade in.
make all kinds of propaganda that gets heavily disliked all over YouTube. And the people know it, all because the dislike counter is publicly available. So again, it's no surprise that YouTube is going down the shitty, gross, ugly path that they've been going down since Susan took over. I mean, you know, don't be surprised when a monkey throws shit in your face. You know, that's what it does. It's purpose-built for it. The system incentivizes the people who run big-ass corporations to make shit-ass decisions the public does not want. So no surprise there. But I was naive enough to think that that might change before this most recent announcement. In the last version of this script, my goal with it was to drum up support for bringing back the comment dislike counter.
You get back here, young man!
With the latest news from YouTube, that doesn't seem very likely anymore, if it ever was, which it was not, clearly.
Honestly, I think you're going to get used to it pretty quickly.
And I was naive to think so. But I still want to tell you that I had quite a bit of the script written before they even announced the news that they were going to remove the dislike counter entirely, because I had to delete huge chunks of the script to adapt it to the recent announcement. So you should definitely feel bad for me. You know, it's
You feel bad.
it was very hard. The old version of the script was about the comment dislike button exclusively, and I had used the existence of the video dislike counter as a reason to bring back the comment dislike counter. But YouTube seems to have different ideas.
That is obvious.
And I was naive to ever think that they would reverse these decisions. But they still should, goddammit. This video is my vote against removing the dislike counter for both comments and videos. Bring them both back, you greedy Puritan bastards.
You greedy fucking prick.
People need more criticism, not less. People are not made of glass and are far more resilient than YouTube gives them credit for. This is counterproductive in so many ways for small creators.
Goddamn you, goddamn.
Including myself. It helps no one, except for corporate douchebags that deserve criticism, as well as anyone else that uploads a hot stinky shit to the internet. No one wants this, except for the aforementioned douchebags. It stifles the public's ability to communicate its mood to each other and everyone watching. And it makes it harder for the overlords themselves to see the public's mood, since the dislike counter being gone will reduce the amount of people that use the dislike button. And that will taint the feedback data that many creators use to see how they're doing.
Well, now you see that's bad. That's really, really bad.
And it won't be as useful to the overlords either. So they are shooting themselves in the foot.
Good!
There is a good chance the public will simply choose not to participate with the like or dislike button at all, out of protest. And that means less engagement for everyone, meaning creators get even less feedback overall, and less views too.
Oh, that's just great.
And besides, if the public can't access that data, neither should YouTube or anyone else. The people deserve to see the dislike counter. The option to hide the counter was plenty enough. There was no need to go any further. So what if people were bullied for it? That's life. Don't make shit content. If my videos get disliked to hell, so be it. I want the public to be able to see it either way. Oh, and other sites not having a dislike button is no excuse to get rid of the one YouTube has.
There's no way around it.
I'm not the only one that feels this way about the dislike counter. There are many other creators that have covered this, or soon will. Here's a clip of the Pewds.
If people couldn't see the dislike number through their data and extensive research, market research, statistics, they found that people were less likely to dislike the button. Yeah. I could have told you that, YouTube.
H3 covered it as well.
Apparently, groups of viewers are targeting a video's dislike button to drive up the count, turning it into something like a game with a visible scoreboard.
No. What?
And
Who would do that? On the internet?
And so did It's a Gundam.
Anyway, to reduce targeted dislike attacks and their impact on creators, especially smaller creators, you will no longer see public dislike counts on your YouTube starting today. The dislike button is staying. Literally, the BuzzFeed ratio was nothing, and I mean nothing, compared to this. YouTube has been ratioed into another dimension. Basically, people came in and told YouTube what they're doing was wrong. And of course, YouTube is as tone deaf as Dark Side motherfucking fell during a stream. When it comes to the community telling them this is not the move to make, and YouTube's like, no, we think otherwise. This only benefits big channels. This only benefits corporations. This only benefits movies. This benefits Disney.
The dislike button set YouTube apart from the rest of social media and was part of what drew people to YouTube in the first place. Never mind that we used to have a rating system back in the day, and you took that away in favor of what we have now. And now you want to conform like everyone else and not have a dislike button at all.
You want to be like all other platforms now? You pick-me-ass platform?
And you're just half-assing it by getting rid of the counter. Even though YouTube is very different from the other social media sites that YouTube themselves is comparing themselves to. Since YouTube is not, a scrolling site, you're actually meant to watch the content you click on. A lot of the content on YouTube is long. Detailed feedback is super, super critical and important to creators. We aren't making TikToks on YouTube. We are making the best productions we can with whatever we have. And YouTube taking one of our 2 tools for feedback is not very goddamn helpful. The people who actually want to get better and create better content are going to have a lot harder of a time figuring out what they need to do in order to succeed without a good, robust dislike counter. Not everyone has the time or desire to leave a comment with feedback. Giving everyone the option to either like or dislike is a valuable, quick way to get good feedback from people. It's not the most detailed feedback, which is why I think you should expand the functionality of the dislike button rather than gutting it. And the lack of a dislike counter and the accompanying ratio balance that you can see makes echo chambers even easier to form. Like what the hell, man? What are you guys doing?
I don't know, man.
It also makes it harder for the public to point out misinformation. Obviously.
Duh.
Before the most recent change, you would be able to see video dislikes if the creator allows it, but you would never see the dislike counter for comments. Now, we will never see the dislike counter at all. Ever.
When I see that's bad, that's really, really bad.
Creators would sometimes be bullied for hiding their dislike counter. And of course, YouTube sees themselves as the people's savior for taking the choice away so that no one can be bullied. You couldn't get along, so now nobody can have it, basically. Axing stuff isn't going to do anything except drive people to the next suitable alternative that arrives.
You get back here, young man!
My point is, hateful, nonsense comments should be pointed out.
That's the point.
And the amount of dislikes you have on a comment hurts no one except for the person that made the comment. And they deserve a bit of shame for saying it.
Don't be so harsh.
Everything I just said applies to both videos and comments. Whether an idea is being delivered by video or comment doesn't really matter. The ability to dislike it is valuable and far more important than YouTube seems to want to give it credit for, which is a goddamn shame if you ask me.
I didn't ask you and I don't care.
If those who are susceptible to terrible ideas are made aware of how many people disagree, they might just rethink their position, and that might be one less white supremacists in 5 years.
They're evil, Edwin.
I'm not saying that the dislike counter plays a big role in this dynamic. No way. But it certainly plays a part. Or it doesn't, and I'm completely wrong, and who even gives a fuck? But what's the harm in talking about it? Get off my back. YouTube has decreed that dislike counters will no longer be public anywhere in the site. So, they are gone. As long as, the stock price doesn't take a dip, and as long as there are no overt consequences for them getting rid of it, it's gone. I mean, come on, guys. Give them an overt consequence, please. I mean, they'll reverse their decision, I promise. All you gotta do is give them a consequence. And now, after this fateful decision on the part of the evil overlord that is YouTube, the poor, miserable souls of the internet are doomed. Doomed, I say. To see people posting the like my comment if you dislike the video, and no one wants to see that. I mean, come on, man, that's too much. That's too goddamn much. You can't make us go through that, YouTube. That's basically a war crime. Under the Geneva Convention, subjecting huge amounts of people to that kind of sick, twisted torture was ruled as cruel and unusual punishment. And YouTube deserves punishment for such horrific crimes against the public. With their decision of hiding the dislike counter, there is no hope but to accept our collective fate of having to see such basic-ass comments, such as those. And every video will have like 5 different people doing that shit. I mean, what kind of monster could make a decision that leads to that level of horrific, gruesome crimes against the people? And to add on top of the horrific war crimes YouTube is perpetrating against the public, if they don't leave a comment like the one I described before, they'll leave a comment saying just dislike instead. And then you'll have the YouTube comment algorithm police targeting comments with the word dislike in it. Yet another word we can't use in the comment section for fear of it getting deleted.
Oh, that's just great.
How many is that now? Like 1,000 different words that we can't use on the comment section because it'll just get deleted. Naturally, YouTube doesn't give much a shit of reasoning beyond people were hurt by this, and so we changed it. You know, the standard corporate nothing answers they give to explain their shitty behavior. No numbers, no solid proof, no specific case requiring this decision. Just anonymous good-looking guy to deliver, you know, the standard...
Honestly, I think you're going to get used to it pretty quickly. And
it's no big deal. Other sites don't even have a dislike button. You know, be grateful. Their publicly given explanation for disliking the dislike counter, pun intended, is that they feel bad actors have been using it in a way to artificially, purposefully bring a bunch of negative attention down onto unsuspecting, completely innocent creators that definitely didn't upload anything worth disliking. You know, did you know that there is a coordinated 4chan dislike bomb attack every 15 seconds on like 10% of the videos out there? You know, it's happening all the time, guys, on YouTube. It's really happening. I promise. It's true. It's happening. Innocent people that didn't do anything to deserve a dislike are getting dislikes. I mean,
How is this possible?
what? We got to get rid of the whole thing. The counter's got to go. Oh. What? Holy shit! What was that? Whoa! My head is killing me right now. But amongst all this pain right now, I've been overcome. I've just been overcome with this insane, never before thought of idea. You know, I'm the first to ever think of it. Clearly. So listen closely. Could it be, perhaps, when a video gets a lot of dislikes very quickly, without a bunch of drama ensuing outside of that video itself, one can safely assume, I'm just saying, one can safely assume perhaps that the video just sucks and a lot of people genuinely dislike it.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's what I'm saying. That's the idea. Is that, do you think, within the realm of possibility at all?
Wait, what?
Do you think I'm onto something here with my totally original idea? That some of them might drop a real turd once in a while? I mean, do you think that's possible? Hey.
There's no way around it.
So yes, people upload hot shit sometimes.
Yeah, no shit, man.
It's a fact of life. Perhaps there's a glaring flaw, or their creator is supportive of dumb/dangerous ideas. Or perhaps the video is full of misinformation. There are a million different reasons why a video could be a dislike magnet. But I'd be willing to bet my left foot that a dislike bomb is not the first, second, or 100th reason any given video is given a dislike.
That is obvious.
I'll bet dislike bombs are probably one of the most niche occurrences on the entire platform. There's no dislike conspiracy cartel that is going around organizing mass dislike bombs. Pretty sure anyway. You know, don't quote me. I'm new here. Watch me get a cryptic message about this later too. I do have some conspiracies of my own though, and I'd like to share them with you. I think once you hear them, you might be inclined to agree. Unless I'm a complete maniac and my logic doesn't make any sense at all to other people. That would certainly explain a lot if true. YouTube, I'm assuming, sees the dislike button, both comment and video, as a source of some problem. I mean, problem for themselves, I mean. I don't think they actually give a shit how the dislike button or the counter affects people. But there is no doubt that the dislike counter has affected YouTube directly multiple times in the past. Most notably, the YouTube Rewind of 2018. It was so goddamn bad, it became the most disliked video on the entire platform ever, as if you needed me to tell you that. And YouTube Rewind was canceled in 2020 because of the 2018 debacle.
Fortnite.
They claimed it was COVID, but I mean, come on. You know, COVID was just the best excuse that conveniently presented itself at an opportune time. They always claim they're doing it for somebody else, implying that there is a victim that the audience might care about. But no. So here is my opinion on this matter, even though no one gives a shit and nobody asked me to give it.
I didn't ask you and I don't care.
You know, I'm gonna pull this word poo straight out my butthole and throw it in your face whether you like it or not. Yes, like an angry monkey. Exactly like that. If people dislike something, it's for a reason. Right or wrong, people should be able to express what they like and what they dislike.
Well, what do you make about this, bro? 8.2 thousand dislikes.
The lack of a dislike button on other platforms is a reason to keep this one, not the other way around. Every site should have one, if you ask me.
Shut up! Mind your own business.
And I'm not the only one who thinks so.
So should you.
No one wants this. Everyone YouTube is proclaiming to protect, I'm quite sure, would protest to the decision of removing the dislike counter. Except for the corporate executives who are terrified of criticism. The small creators, as well as big creators, probably would choose to keep the counter if it was put to a vote. No doubt about it. You know, there are likely a few contrarians around who would have hot takes about the effects of getting a lot of dislikes.
Duh.
You know, the point is, most people probably don't want this.
That's the point.
At the end of the day, YouTube's decision here is a self-serving one, and I think we can all agree on that. It's going to suck to see the dislike counter go. It's a useful tool, and PewDiePie agrees, so I must be right. But hopefully YouTube caves to the backlash and reverses their decisions so we don't have to deal with this shit. I won't even make fun of them if they do cave to the pressure. I'll just be glad they did. You know, that's all I got for this one, guys. I'll be back again soon with another hot, dirty, wet, green-looking shit of a video sometime in the near future.
You get back here, young man!
And I'm slow as hell at making videos.
You're fat, you're slow, all of a sudden you're lazy.
And I had a rather large setback not long ago when I lost my entire video when DaVinci Resolve didn't save it or something.
God damn you, god damn.
But hopefully that doesn't happen again, and I can get another video out quickly after this.
Hey, move your ass!
You know, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, the whole nine. You know, the link to my Patreon is down below. You know, I know it's shitty to have a Patreon so soon, but I don't have much of a choice right now. So hopefully you can forgive me. You know, if you like what I'm doing, consider donating. If not, totally optional. Leaving a comment isn't, though. I need those comments, people. Feedback. But that's it, guys. Get the hell out of here. Goodbye now.